Hello everybody, thank you for joining us. Welcome back to our channel. It's a lovely sunny morning at the moment and we're going to be thinking about harvesting our broad beans. The title of today's video is Take Beans Out, Put Beans In. You'll understand later just exactly what that means. But initially we're at our broad bean patch. All of this raised bed here is broad beans. They've been sown at different times and we're now ready to harvest the first two sowings of the broad beans. We don't want to leave them in any longer. We believe in taking the broad beans when they are quite small, when they're quite nice and young. When they get much bigger and much older, then we don't really like the broad beans very much. And so we are going to harvest all of the first two sowings of broad beans. Obviously we're not going to show you all of this. We're going to keep coming back at different times, but I'm just starting already to do some harvesting. Got my harvesting basket here that Nudge once filled up. We're going to fill these with our lovely broad beans. We're going to be eating some this weekend, others we're going to be freezing. So we're going to blanch them, freeze them, and we're going to have lots of broad beans during the winter, particularly during the month of February, when we need all the help with the vegetables that we can possibly get. So to begin with then, we are just harvesting, collecting our beans, and we'll come back a little bit later and show you how we get on. So we finished harvesting our broad beans. We haven't got up all our broad beans. There are still some from late sowings at the back there, but we've got up most of them. And you can see that some of them, not all, but some of the broad beans that we've harvested are here in these two containers in front of us. And we're quite pleased with the harvest that we've got. We'll be eating some over the weekend. Others we'll be freezing and putting into bags in the freezer. I'm just finishing off preparing the bed now because this is only part of the story. There's another part now that's going to continue. And so I'm just going to finish off digging this and watering it and putting some more fertiliser on. And then we'll go on to the next part of the story, the beans in rather than just the beans out. I'm afraid that everything at the moment is just taking a little bit longer than normal, because neither of us is in the best of health. Unfortunately, our house has been visited by COVID this week, and Nadge is really quite poorly. And so everything is taking a little bit longer than usual. So please be considerate towards us in the circumstances. Anyway, we'll come back shortly. Earlier in the day, we were taking beans out. We harvested and we removed our broad beans. Now it's completely the opposite. We're putting beans in. Where we removed the broad beans this morning, we dug it over, we added some fertiliser, we gave it a thorough watering, and now we're actually planting some beans. We're putting in some dwarf French beans. So now we're planting, we're putting in rather than removing. You can see that we've started already. I'm just going to continue with this one row here. You can see that these were sown some time ago. 2 seeds into each pot, and now we're planting them out. So this is a very, very quick turnaround. Earlier today there were broad beans in this bed. Now there are French beans in this bed. Okay, that's more or less it for the dwarf French beans. We're then going to be putting in some climbing French beans and also some runner beans further down the bed. So you can see that we are immediately utilising the bed again. It's not lying unused at all. We're really trying to get as much use out of it as we possibly can. Hope you enjoyed our little challenge to do a changeover in one day. Thank you ever so much for watching. Your support is much appreciated. Thank you very much.